Hi, welcome back to STEM Storytime. I'm Taylor, and today we are going to be reading a book called Clouds. And then at the end of the book, I'm going to tell you how you can make your very own clouds at home with a few things that you probably already have lying around the house. Let's get started here. Clouds by Anne Rockwell. Look up at the sky. Do you see white or gray shapes moving across it? Those are clouds. Most clouds are too far away to feel. You can only look at them. But there's one kind of cloud you can feel standing on the ground. That is fog. It's the lowest kind of cloud. You can learn a lot from looking at clouds. The shape of clouds and whether they are dark or bright can tell you how high they are and what kind of weather they will bring. All clouds are made of water and particles of dust too small to see. The highest clouds are 6 to 9 kilometers up in the sky. That is 3 to 4 miles high. It's so cold up there that all the water in those clouds freezes and becomes tiny crystals of ice. There are 3 kinds of clouds high up in the atmosphere: Serous Clouds, Serostratus Clouds, and Serocumulus Clouds. That's what they look like. The beginning of a cloud's name tells how high up it is, the cirro part. The next part tells what shape it is. So Serostratus, Cirrus, Serocumulus. Cirrus clouds are hardly there. They look like wispy white feathers trailing across blue sky. They mean sunny weather with no rain. They are far apart and let the sun shine on the earth. Cirrus clouds. Serostratus can cover the whole sky. They tell us it may rain or snow in 12 to 24 hours. Stratus means clouds that are flat and spread out like a blanket. Small, puffy white clouds scattered across the entire sky are Serocumulus clouds. Cumulus means that a cloud is rounded instead of flat. Serocumulus clouds can mean it's going to get colder. Clouds in the middle layer of Earth's atmosphere are 2 to 6 kilometers, about 1 to 4 miles away. There are 2 kinds: Altostratus and Altocumulus clouds. Many Altostratus and Altocumulus clouds are part water and part ice. Only some of the water freezes in these middle clouds because the atmosphere closer to Earth is warmer. Altostratus, Altocumulus. Altostratus clouds are gray-blue and streaky and cover the sky. They tell you it could rain that night or the next day. Altocumulus clouds look like ocean waves, puffy white and gray. If you see them on hot, humid days, a thunderstorm will probably come. Low clouds are only about 3.2 kilometers, or 2 miles, above Earth. They are called cumulus, stratus, stratocumulus, nimbostratus, and cumulonimbus clouds. Cumulus clouds look like white fluffs of cotton. They may pile up high like mountains in the sky. They are most often seen on bright, sunny days. This big one, cumulonimbus. These are cumulus, stratocumulus, stratus, and nimbostratus. Stratus clouds are gray and cover the whole sky. They usually mean rain, but not much. Stratocumulus clouds are gray and look like a row of fuzzy lumps hanging low in the sky. Rain doesn't fall from these clouds. Nimbostratus and cumulonimbus clouds both tell you there will be very wet or even stormy weather. Nimbo, or nimbus, is in a cloud's name, means it's a storm cloud. Nimbostratus clouds are dark gray and ragged looking at the bottom. Rain or snow falls steadily from them. The scariest clouds are Cumulonimbus Clouds. If you're standing under them, they will look dark gray instead of white. Sometimes they look almost black. They seem to swell as they climb higher and higher into the sky. If you see Cumulonimbus Clouds in the sky, you should run inside as fast as you can. They mean a thunderstorm is coming, and thunderstorms can be dangerous. Sometimes balls of ice called hail fall from Cumulonimbus Clouds. Sometimes dangerous funnel-shaped tunnels of wind called tornadoes grow out of them. If there were no clouds, Earth would be a very different place. Clouds are important to everything that lives and grows here. They bring the rain. They bring the rain all plants and animals need. If there were no clouds, there would be no rain. Nothing could live. If there were no clouds to hide the sun, Earth would become very hot during the day and very cold during the night. The temperature change would be too much for most plants and animals to live and grow. Sometimes you see more than one kind of cloud in different parts of the sky at the same time. That's because the wind is blowing away some clouds and bringing in new ones. This means the weather will change. Now that you know which clouds bring rain or snow, which brings storms, and which brings sunny weather, you can tell in advance what the change will be. That's what scientists called meteorologists do. More than half of Earth is always covered with clouds, even though you may not see any where you live. But somewhere else on Earth, someone else is looking at the clouds in the sky above. So, now that we've learned a little about clouds, I'm going to show you how you can make your own. We learned that clouds are made because of temperature changes and little particles. So what happens when a cloud forms, you have water that gets really hot, and so it evaporates, it turns to steam. So when that steam rises through the air, because steam is very light, it rises and it picks up little particles of dust. When it gets up really high, remember in the book it talked about going up high into the atmosphere, it gets really cold up there. So then the steam hardens again or condenses again and turns into droplets of water. But those droplets have a little particle in them now, and they kind of all combine to form clouds. So you can make a cloud at home with just a few simple things. A glass jar like this. If you don't have a mason jar, you could also use like a pickle jar or a jar from your jelly. It's got to be glass though. Make sure it's glass, it's pretty clean on the inside, and you want it big enough that you can get some water in there and see what's going on. So I'm going to use this one. We also need ice. You can use regular ice cubes, or I'm just going to use this ice pack, which you might have one of those in your freezer. We need a plate, just a regular paper plate of some kind, a can of hairspray, and some hot water. Now, the important thing, you can use hot tap water. Just make sure not to burn yourself. Just be very careful when you're getting the water. First thing you want to do, you need to get your jar and get your hot water. I've got some right here that I'm going to use. We're going to fill the jar just a little bit. We're just going to fill the bottom of the jar. We don't need much. So I'm just putting a little bit in there. So I'm going to swirl it around so the bottom of the jar can get kind of warm. Okay, swirl it around, let it sit for a minute. Now I'm going to put the paper plate on top of the jar. And on top of that, I'm going to set the ice pack. Now what the ice pack is doing, it's acting like the top layers of the atmosphere, where it's really cold up here and it's really warm down here. So this is replicating the atmosphere. So we're going to let this sit for a few seconds so that it gives the jar time to change temperature up here to down here. This is still pretty warm, and this is getting pretty cold. I recommend waiting about 20 seconds. Because the next thing you're going to take your hairspray, and we have to do this pretty quickly, but you take your ice off, you spray, and put it right back on. So I think it's kind of hard to see right here, but a cloud is forming in there. And then when I take off the top of here, you should be able to see it come out of the jar. If you had a lighter, thinner glass jar, you might be able to see it a little better. I can see it pretty good from right here. Camera might make it difficult to see, but you should be able to see it when I take the lid off. So here we go. Let's see if we've got it. All right. We made a cloud. And it's so easy to do. And that's it. That's all it takes. You need some warm water, some hot water. So just take your, from the tap in your kitchen or something, get it pretty hot. Just careful not to burn yourself. Fill a jar just a little bit. Get an ice pack from the freezer or just some ice cubes. Put them on a paper plate and spray some hairspray. And voila, you have made a cloud. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you had fun and learned something. And yeah, check out some more books about clouds, and then you can go look at clouds out in the sky. Learn how to be a meteorologist. All right, see you later.